welcome, one and all, to this West Region first-round game between the Michigan Wolverines and the Harvard Crimson out of the Ivy League. I am Matt Strand with my broadcast partner today, Michael Strand. How are you doing today, Michael?
Doing well, Matt. Very excited for this contest. Looking forward to all the action here in front of us.
Got a packed crowd here. Michigan wins the tip. Xavier Simpson at the top of the key, the senior out of Lima, Ohio. Over 1,000 career assists in maize and blue. This time he's going to take it himself to the 10 for 2. Xavier Simpson is one of those players, Michael, that can take over a game, and if he gets going early, watch out.
Yeah, Xavier Simpson very good at getting into the lane. Let's see if he can be a factor from deep today as well.
But Harvard answers with a big triple on their first possession to take a 1-point lead. Just saw holding the ball. This is actually his first start of the season. Head coach Juan today. Normally you'd see an extra guard in there, and Eli Brooks, but he broke his nose in the late season game against Purdue. This would be the first time I've seen him without a mask since the injury. He's going to come off another three from the Harvard Crimson to jump out to a 6-2 lead. Kesky can try to use his size down low.
Yeah, man, it's going to be interesting to see Michigan with a different rotation tonight, as you mentioned. To see how it's going to affect things as we unfold here.
And not helping him out early, as that was an offensive board that you would expect not to give up with your tall lineup in. But sure enough, Harvard capitalizes, jumping out to an 8-2 lead. Castleton with the ball at the elbow. That could be Teskey out top. He will shoot it from out there, but that's what they're going to this time. Xavier Simpson for 3! Just like we talked about, Michael, looks like he's going to have to keep Michigan in this game. That is correct. He's going to have to keep them in this game.
Matt, you always wonder about these Ivy League schools that come to play in these bigger arenas, how they'll be affected shooting.
Oh.
Not really shown to be a factor here for Harvard early.
No, Harvard does not look at all intimidated. Foul on Xavier Simpson. That's going to send Harvard to the line for 2. Noah Kirkwood getting physical. Looks like the refs might be calling this game tight early. Michael, what are your thoughts on that?
All the games we've seen so far have been pretty. The refs have been letting them play. Like to see that continue, but if it isn't, you're going to see the free throws be a factor in this game.
Kirkwood steps to the line. And he's going to miss the first, rimmed out.
Noah Kirkwood, a sophomore guard out of Ottawa, Ontario. Basketball becoming pretty big in Canada these days, Matt. With some of these guys now more going to the NBA, especially R.J. Barrett, early round draft pick last season at Duke.
Yeah, that's right, Michael. We're even starting to see them kind of invade the college game here. Michigan had the Canadian themselves in Nick Stauskas that took this team within a couple possessions of going to the Final Four back in 2014. We're starting to see more and more Canadians make their way into the college basketball scene. Xavier Simpson going to take it himself again, but that's not going to go. Harvard with the rebound. They're going to push tempo. Aiken crosses the timeline. He's going to pull up at the three-point line, but he's not going to do anything. Looks to pass, spins, takes a pick, dishes back to Kirkwood, pump fakes. He's going to drive, pulls up for a 10-footer. No good. Up back iron. Teskey with the rebound. Simpson to push in transition. This Michigan team likes to get out in transition, Michael. When if they can run the floor, they can be dangerous. And even more dangerous if Xavier's going to make threes like that.
Yeah, man. I mean, as you said, Xavier Simpson from deep is going to be an X factor. I also think another X factor could be a Teskey running the rim to rim, creating an opportunity in transition, as you said.
Yeah, Xavier already being hot. If he and Teskey now can get the pick and roll game going, that could be very, very dangerous for this Crimson team. They might want to look out for that.
Yeah, I'm sure the two seniors do not want to be a one and done in this year's tournament.
Isaiah Livers the dish to Franz Wagner for 3, and that's good, and Michigan takes the lead, 11-9. Michigan really starting to shoot it well from 3. They have been a very dangerous team this year when they get hot from behind the arc. Kirkwood.
Yeah, Matt, it's been an interesting story for Michigan this year. Coming out very hot out of the gate, but also big wins in these preseason, early season tournaments. It's a tough shot there from Harvard. No good. Michigan had the rebound going the other way.
Yeah, you're right, Michael. Michigan started off the season 7-0, and they actually pulled out a win in the Bahamas in the Battle for Atlantis tournament. As Isaiah Livers takes a foul there, he's going to go to the line. And not only did they win the Battle for Atlantis tournament, Michael, they had some stiff competition. Obviously, a North Carolina team that had a disappointing season. Looks like Trey Burke's actually on the bench coaching for Harvard, former Michigan star himself. But that Battle for Atlantis...
These contests here on NBA 2K.
That Battle for Atlantis championship came with wins over North Carolina, which was ranked at the time, although they kind of fell from grace. But then they also beat the likes of Gonzaga, who for most of the season had Michigan as their only loss on the year. Livers knocks down the first, stretching Michigan's lead to 3.
Yeah, Livers, a junior out of Kalamazoo, Michigan, 6'7". Matt, do you think Livers is going to stay around for his senior campaign, or do you think he has his eyes on the draft?
Livers is really the X factor for the Maize and Blue. He missed a stretch of games in the middle of the season. That's really where you saw them start to take a slight dip. He was on the team that got off to the hot start, and when he came back from injury, they ripped off 5 of 6 as well. So this team can be very dangerous with a healthy Isaiah Livers on the floor. Michigan now 13-9. Livers pushes to Wagner. Wagner finds a streaking Xavier Simpson who finishes. What a look there from the German.
Now we have final in the East region. Kentucky has beat Monmouth handily and move on to the round of 32.
40-plus point drubbing from what it looks like over here. Kentucky, Calipari looks like he might have his boys primed for a deep run in this year's tournament. Obviously, we got a timeout from Harvard here as they try to regroup after getting off to a fast start. Michigan now with a 6-point lead, leading 15-9.
Matt, I've just been told by our statistician that Kentucky had 6 players in double figures. That's going to be a tough team to stop.
That is impressive. Speaking of players in double figures, Michigan actually one of the handful of teams in the nation to have 5 players average double figures for the year.
Wow, that's very impressive.
Simpson crosses the timeline. He's going to dribble between his legs, looking to get a screen from Castleton, who's going to slip and roll, but nothing there. Doesn't look like Castleton and Teskey are on the same page, almost running into each other there. But Teskey sets the screen. Xavier sees the opening, and when Xavier Simpson sees daylight, more often than not, he's going to finish at the rim.
Wow, it's a big dunk right there by Xavier. Matt, the stats continue to pour in from this Kentucky-Monmouth game. I'm getting told that in the third quarter, again, we spoke about this in this broadcast. Obviously, the rules a little different here today in this tournament, but going back to the game, there was a 35-2 advantage for the Wildcats in that third quarter against the Hawks. It's unbelievable, if you ask me.
That is pretty crazy. The Monmouth team just overmatched by the Blue Bloods in Kentucky. What a assist by Xavier Simpson to Teskey for the flush. This Michigan team is really starting to settle in here, Michael. Harvard's going to have to do something here soon, or they could find themselves in trouble after that hot start.
Just for the rest of our viewers out here, we're talking about all different games here. All these games are available to be watched live on Viral Madness on YouTube. Please feel free to subscribe and give us a like to follow more content for the rest of this tournament.
Yes, Viral Madness will be sharing all 63 games here of the tournament. Not all of them, unfortunately, will have our beautiful voices, but you're lucky enough to be watching this game. You're lucky enough to be hearing us. Please subscribe, comment below. Let us know which games you'd like to hear broadcasting as well. We can make an exception for you. Except Duke. I refuse to call a Duke game.
Let's see about that. Anyways, go move it on.
Obviously, I'm kidding. Michigan swings the ball. Wagner, top of the key, is going to dish to Isaiah Livers. Oh, he tries to find a streaking Teskey, but that ball is tipped into the hands of Aiken. Aiken's going to push tempo. He's going to take it into the paint. Kicks back out to Towns. Ball fake. Gets a screen. He's going to cut. Pulls up for the 8-footer. Good! Quick little run here from Harvard. Michigan, Juwan Howard is going to take a timeout. Their lead cut to 4, 19-15. As you mentioned, all these games are going to be available on Viral Madness 2K20 on YouTube. YouTube being a premier sponsor of this year's tournament. You have the first round coverage in the West region. The 5th-seeded Michigan Wolverines taking on 12th-seeded Harvard Crimson. We'll be right back after this. And we're back. You're going to see Michigan has subbed in Brandon Johns Jr., the 4 position. Eli Brooks is going to run the point. Looks like David DeJulius in at the other guard position. Still see Castleton on the floor.
Now, as you mentioned, Eli Brooks playing with a broken nose with no mask. One of the limitations of a video game.
Yeah, this will be his first game back without the mask. I think that's why Howard wanted to ease him into the game. A lot of confidence in this team. They're going to be able to take care of Harvard. Obviously taking nothing for granted in the tournament. But Howard's had a lot of faith in Castleton and shows why right there with the big finish, the hoop, and the harm. That's going to be and 1 for the Wolverines.
Castleton, a 6'11 sophomore at Dayton Beach, Florida.
And you know,
make an impact on this game.
Howard, having coached in the Florida area for the last few years, says he actually watched a little bit of Colin Castleton play in high school while he was coaching for the Heat. Howard also known for developing big men, and you can see why in Colin Castleton, who came on late in the season to become a big factor for the Wolverines. And he knocks down the free throw to complete the three-point play, stretching Michigan's lead back to 7. Aiken crosses midcourt. Between the legs. Brandon Johns off the switch, trying to cover him in the lane, but Aiken too quick, beats him off the dribble and scores. What a finish by Aiken. He has 7 of the team's 17 points. David DeJulius, top of the key, is going to swing to Eli Brooks. Eli Brooks, screen, is going to take it to the hoop himself, over his head and scores. What a bucket by Eli Brooks. Pushing Michigan's lead to 7, 24-17 over the Crimson. Aiken crosses the timeline. Going to look for a screen. Pulls it back. Cuts down the middle of the lane. Tries to dish. Tipped by Castleton and stolen. He's going to push it up to Cole. Cole's going to take it himself. No good. Juwan Howard probably wishing that he would have pulled that out. Cole only averaging about 4 minutes on the season. You can see why there. And Harvard takes it the other way and scores.
Some bad transition defense right there by Michigan, Matt.
Yeah, Howard trying to get in some.
Back on defense.
Howard trying to get in some end of the bench guys, not working out for him there. But Eli Brooks showing why he was a starter for much of the year, pulling up from the foul line and hitting. Michigan now shooting 63% from the field. They're 10-16 on the night. Aiken looks to drive, sees some space, and scores. He is single-handedly keeping Harvard in this game. He now has 9 on 4 of 6 shooting from the field. Great play so far by the point guards.
Bryce Aiken, senior guard out of Randolph, New Jersey. I know he was excited to be in this tournament. Once again, Harvard's been in this tournament quite a bit recently.
Yes, they have, and the Ivy League's had a lot of success as well. Eli Brooks with another bucket, making Juwan Howard look like a genius, having Eli Brooks come off the bench and lead this second unit. But Aiken is single-handedly keeping Harvard in this game with another score. You got to wonder, how long can the Harvard team afford to keep Aiken on the court before he needs a blow?
Man, from the Michigan games that I've watched in preparation to calling this game, Eli Brooks has been known as more of a lockdown defender. So is Xavier Simpson, for that matter. Curious to see if they'll start guarding Aiken more closely here as this game continues.
Yeah, you're going to see a lot of that, although DeJulius guarding him right now. Michigan, especially early in the season, one of the better perimeter defenses, guarding the 3 better than almost anybody else in the country. Let's see if we can see some more of that. Harvard obviously taking advantage so far, trying to get down low. Although Aiken's going to have to pull from here, and he hits from deep, cutting the lead to 2. What a possession to end the first quarter. They've thrown a lot of different faces at Bryce Aiken so far today to no avail. He has kept the Crimson in this game. They only trail 28-26. This first round contest brought to you by PlayStation 4 and Sony, who is soon to be releasing PlayStation 5. Obviously, just another way for them to make more money because we all have to buy a new console. Boy Scouts of America are today's halftime entertainment, as you just saw a preview there.
Man, I want to touch a little more on Bryce Aiken in his career, if I may. Bryce Aiken, as I mentioned, is a senior. In his career, he's averaged easily over double digits per game, averaging 14, 22 his junior year. A little down this year, was only 16. He's definitely the X factor for Harvard. Keep an eye on him.
Yeah, 22 points per game. He had a huge junior season. Eli Brooks, good look into Brandon Johns Jr., who finishes at the rim, giving Michigan the 2-point lead after Harvard had tied the game on their last trip down the floor. Harvard really choosing to ride Aiken here. I don't know that he's hit the bench yet today. Catchings, swings back to the top, over to Aiken. Being guarded by David DeJulius. Getting late in the shot clock, he has to dish to Bassi, who pulls for 3, and that's no good. Rimmed out. Colin Castleton pulls down the board. He's going to push tempo himself. He's going to try to go rim to rim, but he wisely pulls it out, swings it to DeJulius. Juwan Howard was on his feet there, making sure that happened as he takes a seat. A little excited maybe for Castleton, but he ultimately makes the right decision. Although DeJulius there, stuffed trying to get to the rim. Harvard now in transition. And they are going to miss the easy layup, but they get the offensive rebound. Swing it back out to Welsh. He's going to swing it back to Aiken. Aiken's going to try to set something up here, taking a screen. Steps back, pulls, and hits for 3. That is going to be a 31-30 lead for the Clemson. As Bryce Aiken continues to be hot. Howard might want to look at switching, getting somebody else on him on defense there, Michael. It doesn't look like Julius will get that job done right now.
As I mentioned, Xavier Simpson and Eli Brooks known for their defense. Definitely need to see a matchup change here early in the second quarter.
And another one hit. Aiken is feeling it. He's in the zone. He is taking over this game for the Crimson.
Howard might need a timeout here to restructure here.
Eli Brooks, no good, back iron. I think you're right, Michael. I think that might have been a good timeout for the Wolverines there, but they didn't. Now Harvard, ball tipped out of bounds. Oh, they're going to say that went off Aiken, and Michigan's going to get possession. Aiken finally going to take a seat. He's had a huge first half here for the Crimson. Let's see what they're going to be able to do with him on the bench. Julius, cross midcourt. He's going to go left. Dribbles between his legs. Swings back top the key to Teskey. Over to Franz Wagner, who ball fakes. Takes the screen from Teskey. Kicks it back out. Teskey's going to pull from 3, and he hits. The big man, 7'1", knocking down the 3. Michael Teskey does have the ability to step out from 3. Tends to have a bit of a flat shot, but that time it went down for the big man.
Teskey, one of those Ohio guys, decides to go to the school up north to go join the Wolverines.
Yeah, both he and Simpson, the 2 seniors on this year's team, both from Ohio, looking to help Michigan make another deep run into the tournament. These 2 men are the winningest players in Michigan basketball history. They have an uncanny 34-6 record in neutral site games in their career in the Maize and Blue. That is just unheard of. They played in 4 straight Big Ten championship games, made it to a national title game, and looking to make another deep run in this year's tourney.
Michigan's got to find a way to box out here, Matt. With Aiken on the bench, Michigan's got to go on a run. Cannot afford offensive rebounds and second possessions.
Yeah, you got that right. This 4-point lead. Harvard hanging tough with Aiken on the bench. Michigan's going to need to get something going here. We're going to see if Livers, the spark plug of this team, gets something going. He finds some space, and he goes high off the window and good. Michigan cuts the lead to 2. We're going to need to see some more plays made by Isaiah Livers if Michigan's going to continue to get back in this game. To Julius. Guarding top of the key. Harvard not really moving much. I'm sure they want to get that goal, but he's going to pull up from the foul line and hit. This Harvard team cannot miss. Wagner is going to swing to Teskey. You know, Michael, I got to say, I'm surprised that we haven't seen Xavier. He's been on the bench here for a little while. They need to get him back in this game.
Yeah, man, I'm surprised to see Howard keep Xavier Simpson on the bench this long.
Yeah, not something you normally see. You got to wonder if maybe he's out of breath, seeing some effects from this coronavirus. Harvard's going to pull from 3, no good. To Julius, pulls down the board. He's going to push tempo, feeds the Livers. Livers palms the ball in his right hand, goes back to 2 hands. He's going to let the shot clock dwindle down to 10 before he swings to Julius, who swings to Johns Jr. David Julius is going to drive, pull up from 8 feet and hit. Michigan has cut this lead to 2. And Harvard is going to take a timeout. High-scoring first half here. We've seen Harvard race out to a 39-37 lead here with 5 minutes to play. Just under 5 minutes to play in the first half.
Man, I can't seem to find it here in my notes. Can you please remind me of what the spread and over-under was for this contest?
Yes, I believe the over-under is actually the highest we've had of the day so far. Surprising for a Michigan team that you've seen be successful on defense over the last couple of years. Kind of has changed in this year's picture with Juwan Howard and John Beilein. More focused on the offensive end. But this over-under is actually at 159, although these two teams looking to blow way past that if this pace continues. Michigan coming in as a 5.5-point favorite. Look for all those.
Though, Matt, this is one of those 5 and 12 matchups. You know, if we like to fill out brackets, no, this is kind of where the upset can happen. You just got to be careful here not to become one of those victims.
That's right. Look for all those lines being spreads and over-unders to be posted on both Twitter and Facebook. If you could get that over-under posted for us, make sure that's available for all the viewers. That'd be great. That's, again, 159 over and a 5.5-point spread for the Wolverines. Harvard here, though, with a 2-point lead late in the first half. And the ball's loose. Brandon Johns Jr. picks it up. He's going to push tempo. Franz Wagner takes it to the 10. Franz Wagner, obviously the younger brother of Mo Wagner, Michigan forward who took them to the national title game against Villanova a couple years ago, who's now playing in the NBA. Towns is going to drive right. Stolen by Wagner. Wagner has impressed the coaches all year long. Juwan Howard raves of the polish that Franz Wagner has on his game, having played professionally in Europe before coming to the Wolverines as a freshman this year. And he gets another steal. Look at the handles by Wagner. He's going to cross them up, pulls at the elbow, drives. Oh, he hits! He hangs and he hits in the middle of the lane. Franz Wagner, 3 of 4 from the field. He now has 7 points on the night. Michigan now back into a 2-point lead. Really starting to play tougher defense here. Wagner, the sticky hands out there. Gets a rebound, now pushes up to Livers. Wagner's been the difference in this late first half for the Wolverines.
Tough shot. No,
Wagner rims out. But Brandon Johns Jr. gets the rebound, kicks to Xavier. No! Great look from 3 there for Xavier Simpson. You got to wonder if maybe being on the bench too long messed with them a little bit on that shot. Michigan really tightening up the D here late in the first half. Juwan Howard must have said something to him in that last huddle. Another rebound by Wagner. He's going to push tempo again. He's going to go right down the lane and draws the foul. We're going to see Livers and Johns take a seat, and Colin Castleton will re-enter. Castleton, the ball top of the key, gives to Xavier Simpson. Going to drive, left elbow, spins, dumps down low to Teskey. Teskey's going to take it right to the hole. Realized he had a mismatch there. He's got probably a foot advantage, and he uses all of that to finish at the rim, stretching this Michigan lead to 4. And we got a timeout for the Harvard Crimson. Michigan really starting to feel it here a little bit. We'll see if they can pull away. An 8 to 10 point lead here heading into halftime would be huge for the Wolverines. But the Crimson have hung tough. If Aiken can keep them in this game, they can have some momentum. They can have a lot of confidence going into halftime if they can keep this lead under 4. Michael, give us an update on what you've seen around the tournament and other games so far today. I know you mentioned the Kentucky game was a blowout, 40-0. What else have we seen in today's action?
Let me guess 1 second here. We got at the half Iowa versus East Tennessee. Iowa's up by 4. Big difference here in this game is Iowa has 6 blocks in the first half against East Tennessee. Still only a 4-point game. Iowa is led by El Garza with 4 points, 3 rebounds, and 4 assists. Luke Garza, thank you. No, it's not.
Luka Garza was actually the player of the year in the Big Ten for Iowa. Some thought that award should have gone to Cassius Winston, but Garza ended up taking home the hardware. He has his Iowa team potentially primed to make a run. The Big Ten is tough. Big Ten with 10 teams in the tournament this year. Already 2 advanced to the round of 32, although we did watch both Indiana and Illinois get knocked off earlier today. Jurich, top of the key, being guarded by Brooks. Michigan continues to just be smothering on defense. Eli Brooks is going to push the ball up court. Dishes down low to Castleton, who finishes at the rim and the foul. That is the second and one of the day for Colin Castleton. Got to be impressed with this big man's performance under the tutelage of Juwan Howard.
Matt, I know we've talked about already Xavier Simpson with a long break on the bench. Can you give me an idea of where Bryce Aiken is right now? Where is going to go without him?
That is a great question, Michael. We had mentioned how he had gotten a lot of minutes early on. Not surprised to see him still be on the bench, but they've got to get him back in this game for these last crucial minutes of the first half. Colin Castleton misses the free throw. Juris is going to push. He had an open lane, but he pulls out, dishes to Kirkwood. Kirkwood back to Jurich. Lewis at the top of the key, swings to Towns, being guarded by Castleton. Not giving him any room to shoot despite the fact that he's 40 feet from the hoop. There's Aiken that you just asked about, being guarded by Simpson. It's going to be a great matchup to watch the rest of the game, but Michigan and Xavier Simpson get the best of them there. Late shot clock shot forced, no good. Michigan, ball, top of the key. Eli Brooks swings to Castleton at the elbow. He's got a height advantage. Let's see if he can go to work down here. Although Aiken, not giving up, that's not Aiken. Oh, and Colin Castleton takes it to the hoop and scores on Kirkwood. That's 28 points from the paint for Michigan. They're shooting 57%. Harvard, what a look to Kirkwood in the flush. Cuts that lead to 6. There's going to be
a by Aiken. Maybe Aiken will become more of a facilitator now when Michigan starts paying more attention to the offense end. It's a great passer by Aiken.
That's right, especially with Xavier Simpson now locking him down. This is going to be a big 30 seconds for Harvard. If they can get a stop and a hoop, they can make a big difference. But Eli Brooks is going to pull from 3 and hit. What a huge shot from the guard, number 55. Eli Brooks.
That double screen there on the left side of the court. Xavier Simpson getting involved. It's on a great screen. Getting very pumped up for his teammate on that made bucket.
Excellent execution. And he is all over Aiken right here, not giving Bryce any room to work. He's going to make him earn this bucket. Tips it away. Aiken recovers, swings it back out to Towns. Towns is going to drive baseline. Eli Brooks Oh, over and makes the stop, gets the rebound, and that's going to end the first half. What an exciting first half. We got a high-scoring one here in the West Region first round. Michigan Wolverines halftime lead, 50-41. Michael, who was your player of the first half?
It's a great question. You know, even though they trail right now, I still got to go with Bryce Aiken. He was the difference maker in that first quarter, especially. As you mentioned, Xavier Simpson definitely shut him down as the game continued. From the Michigan end, you got to go with Xavier Simpson as well. Made some good buckets and also that lockdown defense. It's been a very good one so far. Looking forward to the second half.
You know, a couple things I'm going to be looking for here in the second half is does Xavier Simpson continue to guard Bryce Aiken? He seemed to shut him down there late in the first half. And then also the freshman out of Germany, Franz Wagner, got hot there toward the end of the first half, really carried Michigan back after they were trailing midway through the first half and led them to this 9-point advantage at the break. Look forward to a big second half from him, especially if he can get hot from three. But watch mostly for Eli Brooks and Xavier Simpson to try to shut down Bryce Aiken here in the second half.
So we're sitting here at 91 total points, Matt. What do you think? What would you set the second half over/under at?
I gotta think that both coaches are in the locker rooms harping on the fact that their teams have to play defense. So look for a little bit better defense here in the second half. You know, I still think this is going to be a high-scoring affair, but that over/under at 159, still by no means a lock at this point.
Bryce Aiken with 19 points in the first half. Only that one assist. Maybe you expect him to be more of a facilitator here in the second half if he's really focusing on defense.
Yeah, you see Xavier's going to pick him up almost at half court there, passing him off to Castleton. He's going to be a big focus of this Wolverines team on defense. Livers with a good pressure, gets that one off the glass, rebound out to Simpson. Simpson's going to swing to Wagner. Wagner's going to dribble, spin, dumps down to Teskey. Teskey, good look off the glass and finishes. I'll tell you what, Michael, if this Wolverine team can continue to play this kind of defense, can continue to shoot like this from three, and continue to get smooth play like that down on the block from the likes of Teskey and Castleton, they're going to make some noise here in this year's tournament. Tipped again by Wagner, but it's recovered by Aiken. Wagner with some really active hands on defense. He's making it tough for this Crimson team to get anything going. Aiken's got to pull another late in the shot clock contested jumper, and that's not going to go. Now Castleton's going to pull up from an early shot clock three and hit. I just saw Juwan Howard kind of turn around after that shot. Not what he was hoping for in that possession from an execution standpoint, but he'll take the bucket. 14-point lead for Michigan. Big start to the second half.
I think it's all starting on the defensive end, though, Matt. Michigan locking it down on defense, turning good defense into good offense, and getting some good buckets here.
That's right. You got to give Castleton credit. He made the play on defense. He advanced on offense, just like he did again with the steal and going coast to coast, finishing at the 10 for 2. A 16-point lead now for the Wolverines. They are really starting to take over this game. And I think you're right, Michael. This defense is turning into easy offense for the Wolverines as they've really turned the clamps on here in the second half.
I'm not sure if Aiken's not going to be the X factor here in the second half, where the offense is going to come for Harvard, Matt.
And as soon as you mention his name, he pulls up in airtight coverage by Xavier Simpson, but Aiken buries the three. That's good defense, but even better offense on that possession for Harvard as they get a big three there to cut this lead to 13. If nothing else, that has to be a big confidence for Harvard as Simpson misses the three, and that's going to be Crimson ball. They've got to build on that momentum that last possession played. Big play from a big-time player in Aiken to make that three. Let's see if they can use that to bounce back.
That's what you call a color commentator curse there, Matt.
Aiken crosses the timeline, looking to back in on Simpson. Screen, switch, back to Kirkwood. Kirkwood is going to cross up Simpson, top of the key. Going to pull it back out. And they're going to call a foul away from the ball. That's going to be an illegal screen on Harvard. Cannot afford that on that possession. It's going to be a big possession for Michigan to see if they can stretch that lead. Wagner, top of the key. Dribbles, drives left, dishes to Castleton. Sky hook, no good. Teskey with the rebound. The putback, no good. Harvard, rebound, pushes. Pulls the ball out. And dribble, top of the key. He's going to pull for three. No good, rimmed out. That was a big look there for Harvard. That one didn't go.
Nice pass. And the finish. Matt, Colin Castleton playing big here in the tournament. As you mentioned earlier in the broadcast, coming out of Daytona, Florida, getting tutored by Coach Howard.
And the free throw is missed. Baker swings to Zhang. Bassey's going to drive left of the lane, gets into the key, up and in. Big possession there for Harvard as they get back to 50% shooting on the night compared to Michigan's 58. Harvard hanging tough in this game. Got off to that hot start offensively, hit a little bit of a cold streak, but they're not going quietly. They're going to make Michigan earn this one.
Oh, big three right there.
Colin Castleton. Some people may have been questioning Juwan Howard's efforts putting him in the starting lineup today, but it looks like Howard knew exactly what he was doing.
That was one of those shots, Matt. Colin Castleton, as soon as he left his hand, he knew it was going in.
A big three from Harvard. They're going to try to stay in this game. Julius crosses the timeline.
Fadeaway shot is no good.
Pulled that one a little early in the shot clock. I don't know if Howard's going to like that. Catching drives into the lane. No good. Wagner, the dish to Castleton, the flush and the foul. What a big play by Colin Castleton. Looking for his third and one of the night.
Colin
so far,
his
other two.
That can't be stopped right now, Matt.
That's right. So far, his other two and ones, he made the free throw on one, missed on the other. Let's see if he can pick this one up and stretch this lead to 16 for the Wolverines.
Asking the referee what he's supposed to do to guard Colin right now. He's going to take a seat on the bench.
Colin Castleton is just taking over this game for the Wolverines.
My eyes might be deceiving me, Matt, but Colin Castleton's feet literally on fire right now.
Seems that way, Michael. Colin Castleton with the big rebound there. Now he's going to push to Wagner. He's going to pull up for the 15-footer and hits. This Wolverine team is white hot. Jurek, top of the key. Guarded by DeJulius. Harvard's got to get something going here on offense as the Michigan has stretched this lead to 18 with 14 minutes to go in the game. Wagner just harassing the Harvard guards, and they're going to be forced into a shot clock violation. Michigan basketball. Wolverines really turning it on the defensive end.
Very impressed, Matt, in the second half by his Michigan defense. I don't think, you correct me if I'm wrong here, I don't think Harvard has scored in the second half. I mean, maybe 9 points. I guess I'm trying to remember what the halftime score was.
Yeah, no, they've been held under double digits here in the second half so far. I believe the score being 50-41 at the half. So Michigan 17-8 run here in the second half. Bassey, top of the key, swings to Zhang. Zhang's going to drive and pick up the foul. Cole Bierma's going to take that one. He needs to sit back down on the bench. I don't know what he's doing in there. Catching passes in to Julius. Tight coverage. Screen. Switch. Being guarded by Brandon Johns Jr. Takes it in a block by Brandon Johns Jr. With 3.3 seconds left on the shot clock. Big play there. Christian Zhang gets that ball sent into the stands.
Brandon Johns Jr., the 6'8" forward out of East Lansing, Michigan, Matt, the sophomore, making some big impact plays here in the tournament.
He was Mr. Michigan his senior year in high school. Making noise here now for the Wolverines. DeJulius, top of the key. Picks up his dribble, swings to Eli Brooks. Back to DeJulius. Down to 8 in the shot clock. Castleton slips the screen. DeJulius finds some space, pulls up from 7 feet, and just draws back iron. The Crimson pushing it the other way. Bassey finds some daylight, gets to the hoop, and off the glass for 2. Julius crosses the timeline, swings to Brandon Johns Jr. Eli Brooks pulls from 3, back iron, rebound by Catchings. Harvard's going to push tempo. Christian down low to Bassey, up and under, good.
Back-to-back buckets by the senior guard out of Denver, Colorado, Matt.
Cutting this lead to 14. Like I said, Harvard not wanting to go quietly, despite the fact that Michigan's really done their best effort to put them away here in the second half. The Julius going to swing to Castleton at the elbow. Got a little bit of a height advantage here. Pulls up for the sky hook. No good. Back iron. Harvard looking to continue their scoring streak here. Bassey's going to come right side. Pulls back. Runs the shot clock down to 11 seconds. Swings top of the key to Jurek. Jurek passes to Baker. Baker at the elbow being guarded by Castleton. He's got 4 seconds. He passes to Zhang. Shot clock at 2. He pulls from deep. 2. No good. Rebound Junior. Brandon Johns passes up to David DeJulius. Michigan really locking down the three-point line. Zhang, normally a good three-point shooter, only 1 of 5 from the day from 3. Julius drives lane. Stuffed and fouled.
Matt, just give you an update from around the rest of the tournament. We got Iowa against East Tennessee State, demanding a 20-point lead as we conclude the third quarter here by the end of the fourth in that Midwest region. For those of you just turning in, feel free to check out all the action on our YouTube channel, Virtual Madness 2K20.
Viral Madness 2K20. We've had 3 big upsets so far today. Make sure you check those out. No spoilers. We want you to enjoy all the action here that Viral Madness 2K20 has to offer. Please subscribe to our YouTube channel or follow us on Facebook or Twitter. Teskey is going to sub in for Michigan. Julius misses the second free throw. Jurek's going to push temper. They're going to pull from 3 early. Good. Rebound, Michigan. Harvard's going to really need to get some offense going here if they want to get back in this game as they trail by 14. Just over 11 to play. To Julius, top of the key. You know, we just saw in this court a little while ago. Oregon get off by the 13th-seeded UConn. I know I just said I wasn't going to do any spoilers a second ago, but that's who this winner of this game looking to play in the second round.
Big dunk. I missed that one, sorry. Watching the replay.
Brooks to Teskey. Teskey to DeJulius. DeJulius is going to dribble outside the arc. Teskey with the pick. DeJulius finds some space. He's going to fade away from the 11-footer from the elbow. No good. Back iron. Harvard rebound. Juwan Howard doesn't look too happy about these last couple of possessions for the Wolverines as they've let this lead slip to 12. Harvard looking to cut it to 10 or potentially single digits on this possession.
Michigan still doing a great job in the second half.
Oh, Bryce Aiken, he cuts to the
Never
rim
mind.
and cuts this lead to 10.
Again, as soon as I want to mention his name, there he is.
Yeah, I just can't believe that Michigan has allowed him to continue to be guarded by David DeJulius. It seems all game long Aiken has been just eating DeJulius' lunch on defense. But David DeJulius with the answer on the offensive end for three with 1.2 left in the third quarter. Michigan will take a 13-point lead. Big assist from Kepke. Julius and big 13-point lead as we enter the final 10 minutes of this first round matchup between Michigan Wolverines, 5th seeded, and the 12th seeded Harvard Crimson of the Ivy League.
We're going to use this timeout to thank our sponsor, Tito's Handmade Vodka. That shit will fuck you up.
Oh. This game also brought to you by Better Call Saul. Did you catch the coronavirus at work? Better call Saul. He'll take care of all your legal needs. All right, we got 10 minutes to play. Xavier Simpson inbound from Isaiah Livers. Simpson crosses the timeline. He's going to dribble left, jumps, backs it in, turns at the elbow, fires. Good. Big bucket from Eli Brooks. Michigan now shooting 55% of the night. They take a 15-point lead. 110 minutes to go in the game. Bryce Aiken steps back, rimmed out. That would have been a big shot for the Harvard. Xavier Simpson's now going to push, finds an open Franz Wagner in the corner, and he doesn't miss from there. The German lights up a three ball to make an 18-point lead for the Wolverines. Big couple possessions there for the Wolverines, Michael. You think Harvard has a time to get back in this game?
I think this one's all about closing the curtain here, Matt. Unless Bryce Aiken's got any more big shots up his sleeve as he had in the first quarter, but Michigan's been doing a good job shutting him down here.
Yeah, Xavier Simpson looks like he's going to be in Bryce Aiken's hip pocket the rest of this game. But it looks like a mental error here from Michigan. Defensive 3 seconds. That's going to send Aiken to the line for 2 free ones. This is going to be probably the one thing, Michael, that Michigan can't afford here, trying to close out this game. You know, it's one thing to have Xavier Simpson in Aiken's face, but when you got him 15 feet from the hoop, being able to take his time in the charity stripe, he's going to knock those down, and Michigan can't afford that.
That's never good for a lot of shooter like Aiken get to the line and see the ball go in.
You got that right. So it's going to be very important here as you see Xavier Simpson face guarding Bryce Aiken in the corner. He's going to try to not even let him touch the ball. But Lewis down low scores anyway for the Crimson. Cuts the lead to 15. They're going to need to continue to get points from other guys as Michigan looks to take Bryce Aiken out of this game. Big bucket from Xavier Simpson. He now has 14 points on the night.
Simpson being very efficient from the field, shooting a great 60%. That's going to get it done, Matt. It's a great shooting percentage right there.
That's right. Michigan has been very efficient on the offensive end, putting up 77 points already here with 8 minutes to go. Although we got a first personal on Isaiah Livers that's going to send Harvard to the line for 2.
Another update on our other game going on here on our YouTube channel. East Tennessee State against Iowa. Iowa leading 64-36. Some of those thought that East Tennessee could be primed to be an upset candidate. Iowa holding in that bay. Matt, as you mentioned, the Big Ten has been very big this year. Pun intended, with 10 teams into the tournament. Let's see if Iowa can make a run here.
Yeah, the Big Ten make some noise. Early bow out from Illinois earlier today. Wasn't expecting that, but you've seen teams like number 4 seeded Maryland advance, as well as Penn State Nittany Lions. Michigan looking to be another Big Ten team here to advance into the second round. Simpson crosses midcourt, dishes to a cutting Livers, up over his head. No, gets his own offensive rebound and puts it back off the glass. That's the kind of second effort you're looking for as Michigan tries to advance deep into this tournament, and that's the kind of difference Isaiah Livers can make. Aiken swings to Kirkwood. Harvard needs to get something going here as they trail by 17 with under 8 minutes to play. Cutting Aiken gets an open look, and Isaiah Livers can't recover. Easy deuce there for Bryce Aiken. And that's going to be a timeout for the Michigan Wolverines. Juwan Howard going to try to continue to make sure that Michigan knows that their focus is on Bryce Aiken. We'll be right back after this. And we're back. Colin Castleton looking to inbound for the Wolverines with 7.5 to go. They lead by 15. Michael, we were just talking a little bit about the Big Ten as Teskey hits mid-range jumper there. The Big Ten, not only do they have 10 teams in the tournament, but they have at least 2 teams in each region. We could see a lot of Big Ten teams competing come this Sweet 16 and Elite 8.
I think it was well-deserved. The committee made the right decision, Matt, by putting the Big Ten had a heck of a conference this year. It was very tough played, as you saw in the Big Ten tournament. We're looking forward to seeing how the Big Ten can prevail the rest of this tournament.
Yeah, you got some teams like Penn State and Rutgers, both of whom have not done really much of anything in the tournament, at least not in the last 30 years. They both, deservedly so, have made this year's tournament. I'll be interested to see how both those teams fare.
Yeah, Penn State already back in a big win earlier today. I don't think Rutgers has played yet, but yeah, we'll see how they do as well.
Got to give a lot of credit here to Bryce Aiken. He single-handedly had this Harvard team in this game for much of the first half. Just in the second half, Michigan was really able to pull away and really take him out of this game and get him out of his comfort zone. As you can see on that 3 there, Aiken just doesn't have the same confidence he did in the first half. Got to give credit.
Bryce Aiken kind of reminds me of the who's the guy out of Memphis guard in the NBA right now?
What, Derrick Rose?
Oh, the guy that went to on Memphis Grizzlies right now, played at Murray State.
Oh, Ja Morant. Yeah, Ja Morant had a big run last year with Murray State in a huge first-round game and a 12-5 matchup, no less. So Bryce Aiken definitely had his chance to be the Ja Morant of this year's tournament. For a little while there, it looked like he was going to be able to do so. But this Michigan team under first-year coach Juwan Howard has fully taken over this game. Got to give credit to Juwan Howard and his staff for being able to draw up this kind of game plan in a first-round matchup of his first Big Ten tournament, his first NCAA tournament game. Although Juwan Howard, no stranger to the NCAA tournament, he made 2 Final Fours in his playing days as a member of the Fab Five back in the early 90s for these Michigan Wolverines. Michael, I got to say, it's one of my probably favorite things about college basketball, especially tournament time, is getting to see some former players come back and coach their alma maters.
Yeah, I mean, as you mentioned earlier, it's been kind of interesting to watch Trey Burke sit on the sidelines for Harvard against his former team here at Michigan.
Oh, big block there by Teskey. They are not letting Harvard back in this game. And what a look by Wagner to Xavier Simpson for the flush. This Michigan team is showing that they've come to this tournament to play as they push this lead to 23.
Man, no offense to Xavier Simpson, but I didn't know he had ups like that.
As a close to 6-foot guard, you don't see Xavier have to use those moves very often, but he's got him in his arsenal, just like he does the 3-ball, which you haven't had to see from him too much today either. Although Teskey's going to take that to the 10, he's going to get to the charity stripe for 2. Harvard just has no answer for this Michigan offense, and Juwan Howard looks very happy with his team's performance.
Not to look too far ahead here, Matt, but it looks like Michigan's going to go ahead and advance in this game It looks like, as you mentioned before, we already spoiled it, so I'll continue to spoil. They're going to take on Connecticut in the round of 32 with a chance to go to the Sweet 16.
And Connecticut, as we discussed earlier, you and I off camera while that game was going on, Connecticut, the last team to make it into this NCAA tournament. They were one of the last four in. A lot of people questioned them being in this year's bracket, but they have already made a little bit of noise. And as we talked about, it always seems to be the case that one team that people are saying shouldn't have made it and that some other team got snubbed, they never doubt make a difference in the tournament. Yeah, 5 minutes to play here. Michigan with a 23-point lead. Harvard. They're going to keep playing here. They're going to try to show that they belong in the same court as Michigan. Big three there for Crimson as they cut this lead to 20. They're not going to go quietly. Great year this year by the Ivy League champion Harvard Crimson. They definitely earned this 12 seed mark, but Michigan just too much today. And another bucket there from Teskey.
And the Michigan 5.5 point bettors have to be breathing a sigh of relaxation right now as they watch the rest of this contest. Also getting pretty close to dialing into the over-under of 159.5.
That's right. We're only 10 points away from the overhitting in this high-scoring affair. Big board there by Teskey. I think as a member of the Ivy League, Michael, you just don't see too many 7-footers. And when Michigan, under what looks to be a genius play from Juwan Howard, at you, as well as a 6'11 forward, Harvard just has not been able to match up with that kind of size down low. But a big three as Harvard will not go quietly. 72. Spins to Wagner. He's going to get a pick from Teskey. Wagner's going to take it himself. Spins back. He's going to take it to the glass and he scores. What a bucket from Franz Wagner. 6 of 8, shooting 75% from the field. His 14 points have boosted Michigan's lead to 23, 95 to 72. Correct me if I'm wrong, Michael, here, but we might see Michigan be the first team in this year's tournament to hang on Undy, as the kids say these days.
Matt, I think you are correct. I definitely think that this is going to be the highest scoring game so far in this tournament. I also want to speak a little more on Franz Wagner, the 6'8" guy out of Germany. It looks to almost be as good, if not better, than his brother that's currently in the NBA. Matt, what do you think of Franz? Do you think he's going to stay around for his second year in the Wolverines, or will he follow his brother and be more of a one-or-done or a two-and-done kind of athlete?
I see Wagner really understanding that he has to polish his game. He got a late start to this year. He broke his wrist early in the season, was forced to miss a couple games early on. But he's shown he definitely belongs here at the high D1 level. He looks a lot more polished, I think, than Mo did when he was here for his first couple of years. But obviously, Mo got to a point where he was able to be a leader on a team that played for the national championship and made it all the way into the Final Four and was national runner-up. So, figuratively speaking, Franz has got some big shoes to fill, but I think he's got the talent to do it, and I think he's got the basketball IQ to do it as well. It'll be interesting to see how he continues to play here for Juwan Howard and the Wolverines. Oh, and there is exactly what we were just talking about. Wagner, active hands on defense, making it tough for this Crimson team. And then he can get out on the break. He's going to switch hands mid-air, but could not finish. What an effort there by Wagner, but he could not get it to go. One thing that I noticed in kind of game preparation watching Franz Wagner is he really utilizes that Euro step. You've seen some of the likes of NBA superstars, James Harden. He gets some disrespect for thinking that he's traveling, which in some cases obviously that he is, but when you truly see someone like Franz Wagner execute the perfect Euro step, at first glance it may look like a travel, but at second glance he's utilizing that rule to perfection. Towns tipped away by Livers. Livers is going to push the court. He's got numbers. He's going to try to finish it himself. Oh! Gets the foul, and the bucket will not go. He'll go to the line for two.
Now we have a final in the Midwest region. The Iowa Hawkeyes will advance, beating the East Tennessee Buccaneers 74-48.
Another big team moving on to the round of 32. Luka Garza should be garnering national attention. Like I said earlier, having won Big Ten Player of the Year, he's been a force for the Hawkeyes throughout this Big Ten season.
Yeah, Matt, to that point, Luke Garza has a double-double in this game. 15 points, 10 rebounds, 6 of 10 from the field, 3 of 4 from the foul line. Great game out of him.
Yeah, if I'm not mistaken, I know he at least led the Big Ten, and he may have led the nation in double-doubles this year.
For those of you who are watching us now, be sure to check out the rest of our games that we've already pre-recorded on YouTube, as well as games to come. Speaking of the Big Ten and games to come, we will have Duke following up this matchup shortly after the conclusion of this Michigan game.
A lot of credit to this Harvard team. They fought strong, and they put up 72 points against a well-defended Michigan team. As we start to see Juwan Howard get his players in off the bench, we're seeing the likes of Austin Davis and Adrian Nunez get some playing time here late in this first round game. We got less than 2 minutes to play here in this West Regional first round game between the Michigan Wolverines and the Harvard. Looks like Michigan, out of the Big Ten, is going to advance to the second round to take on Connecticut. We'll see that game Saturday evening. Austin Davis, no good. Gets his own rebound. But Harvard's defense led them not wanting to give up. He's going to push after making the steal. Down low. And Welsh with the flush. These kids from Harvard not going quietly. They're going to get all of this experience here in the NCAA tournament. Wilson dumps down low to Davis. Davis, excellent footwork, but can't get it to go for Welsh. Welsh with the rebound. He's going to push to Hazlitt. Hazlitt pushes out. No good. Davis with the rebound. And that should all do it. We have less than 2 seconds here to go. Stick around for just a couple seconds after this game, and we'll review the box score as well as some team statistics to wrap up this regional first round game in the 2020 Viral Madness NCAA Tournament. The clock winds down to 20 seconds left. Ludlow's going to go top of the key, pull it back out, dump down to Baker. Baker with the height mismatch, see if he can take advantage, and he does for the easy bucket. 98-78. Michael, looks like we might have jinxed the Wolverines here on hanging that Hyundai. They're going to have to throw a bucket up here. Let's see if they do it, or if they just pull it out, let the clock run out. Looks like Juwan Howard's going to pull back the Dogs, and Michigan is going to final 98-78 over the Harvard Crimson.
It's great execution by Michigan's offense all day today, man.
Yep, we're going to be back here in just a second with a wrap-up here from the West Regional. The 5th seeded Michigan Wolverines, 98. The 12th seeded Harvard 78. I am Matthew Strand alongside my partner Michael Strand. We appreciate you tuning in. Let's take a quick look after some of these highlights. Look at Xavier Simpson get up there for the slam. Xavier Simpson tied for the team lead with 22 points, 9 of 13 from the field. Meanwhile, Colin Castleton, 22 points, 9 of 11 from the field. My X factor of the game, though, really, Michael, was Franz Wagner. Take a look at his stat line here, and you're going to see that with unlimited effort, he made a big difference in this game, going 6 of 9 from the field, 2 of 2 from 3, 14 points, 6 assists. Just one behind Xavier Simpson with 7 assists, and a big offensive effort for the Wolverines. Meanwhile, taking a look at the Crimson, you got Bryce Aiken, 28 minutes, turned in 32 points on 13 of 21 shooting, 5 of 8 from 3. A big night for the senior guard. Not much help, though, around him. As you take a look at this team comparison, see exactly what he was dealing with. Ultimately, Michigan shooting 57%, while Harvard shot 47%. Michigan 60% from 3, Harvard 38%. Harvard did take advantage of 5 trips to the line with 4 made at 80%, but Michigan with 14 trips only at 64%. Really capitalized in the fast break department. 24 fast break points, 54 points in the paint for the Wolverines. Harvard just had no answer for Michigan's big men. Any final thoughts here before we wrap it up in this West Regional first round game?
No, I think that Michigan is going to be a dangerous team for the rest of this tournament as they move on to face Connecticut. I like Michigan to win that match, but move on to the Sweet 16.
All right, that's all from us in this West Regional matchup. Round 1, Michigan 98, Harvard Crimson 78. That's all. Good night.